Hey folks, Zach Murray here. Welcome back to the Murray Homestead. And today I'm doing a quick review on the PEET, that's P-E-E-T, original dryer. All right, I found out about this little dryer here about a decade ago. I bought this one almost a decade ago. Excuse me. And I love this thing. This is something that I use every day, and it makes my life much better, and it actually saves me money. So all it is a boot dryer. It'd be really good if you're like me and you work for a living. When your boots get sweaty, we live in Texas, so my boots get wet with just sweat every day. So you put them on here, and by the time the next day comes around, they're completely dry, and as a bonus, they're nice and warm and toasty. And so they save my feet from, getting infections and just being uncomfortable. They make my boots not stink. And then it's just a really big comfort thing. No one likes to put on wet shoes. And then a big thing, my feet don't naturally stink. I got lucky. Some people's feet stink real bad. And so when you dry out your boots on one of these, it actually takes the odor away. So they work really, really well. So that's me, because I work both at work and at home, and my feet I always get all wet and sweaty. If it's raining outside, obviously it's good to dry your stuff out. Just makes everything last longer. A big thing is if you're camping, you're on like a ski trip, that's a really big thing, especially people that live in a climate where it snows and your feet are always getting wet. Really big thing. And then other uses that you don't really realize until you get this thing. If you go to the gym, your feet, your tennis shoes are generally going to get wet. You put them on here, the next day when you go to the gym, bam, dry shoes, and they don't stink. And it makes them last longer, and it's healthier for your feet. So it's a win-win-win. This thing was $50. I'll link it down below. It has crazy good reviews, and as it should. So that's basically it. I'll go over some of the specifications on it if you want to know about that. If not, please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me if you have one of these and how you like it. Thank you. Now some of the specifications. I plugged this in to my kilowatt meter. That just tells you how many watts you're pulling out of the wall. This thing only uses 35.6 watts. So it's very, very efficient. And that's a really cool design feature that these guys did, is two things. One, it is completely silent, virtually silent, because there's no fan. It just uses convection. So the ambient air comes in here, passes over these little electrical coils, and that's what's actually making the heat. And through convection, the air naturally rises through. You can see these little ports here. It naturally rises through and is going to gently dry your footwear. And again, it does it silently and efficiently. And the big thing about it using such a small amount of power is if you're off grid or something, this is really, really big. So if you're pulling off of like a solar battery bank, you can leave this plugged in all night without being concerned with it. Another big advantage of that is you don't have to be scared if it gets knocked over or you forget to unplug it when you go to work or something. It doesn't get hot enough to be a danger, one. And then two, so you're not gonna burn your house down or anything like that. And then two, it doesn't use a ton of power, like at all. It's very efficient. And then the big thing is that if you have, if you want to put on like a pair of dress shoes or something, a more fragile or valuable or delicate, however you want to phrase it, shoe, this dries at a slow enough rate where you're not gonna dry out the leather really bad or break down the glue on the sole or anything like that. So very, very useful. There are some that have forced air and pull even more watts that will dry your boots and stuff faster. In my opinion, the way they designed this to be low power and very delicate, I much prefer this in my house. And like I said, I use this thing every single day. I have a separate review. I'll ask my wife to link it down below, please. But these are my favorite boots I've ever had. I did a whole review on them because these boots are over 3 years old and they're just as good as the day I got them. And in my opinion, a big part of the reason why they lasted so long is this dryer here. Another really cool thing about this, especially if you live up north, or again, you're off grid or something, in the morning when you go to put your shoes on, they're nice and toasty warm, especially in the winter. That is so pleasant. It's like having a towel warmer in your bathroom. Very, very nice. And last but not least, they have a 25-year pledge on their website for this. I don't know exactly what that means. It sounds like a warranty, but don't quote me on that. But it is made in the United States of America, which is always a good thing. It's $50. I'll link it down below on Amazon. Tell me what y'all think, and I'll see y'all next time.